If you ask me the question, what does somebody addicted to heroin look like? I was guilty of having a certain image in my mind of an image of a bum, if you will, somebody who was, laying on a sidewalk someplace. Not a good picture in my mind. You see them on the other side and you realize that these are really decent people, these are really articulate people, this is you and I, right? I'm a surgery away from having a situation like that, and that's scary.
I still like to think that I can control my life, but I really can't. And I've probably spent more time in jail and in rehab than I have on the streets actually in my addiction getting high.
When I would have been out drinking socially with people in a way that would look normal, in my head I would be looking at my drink and thinking, how much do I have left? When am I going to get my next drink? Why is everybody else drinking slower than me?
And by the time I was 16, I was stealing alcohol, selling it to my friends, using very hard substances, skipping school.
The second that I found drugs and alcohol as my solution, I stopped functioning as an adult. I stopped knowing how to do things for myself. I stopped wanting to. I am just like lost, so lost.
It became priority, very quickly became the norm. I felt like I couldn't get through the day without it.
I had gotten into this really bad pattern. I looked awful. Like I wasn't sleeping, I wasn't eating. I looked so bad that I was begging and hoping that somebody would say something to me. Just anything. I was just hoping somebody would care.
I think that if you would have ever told someone in my family or my parents or even, my aunts and uncles, like, Brittany's going to be a heroin addict, they wouldn't have believed you, but they would have thought that was the most outrageous thing that they'd ever heard.
Addiction is everywhere. Addiction touches every one of us. And that's the reason for the Voices of Hope series. In partnership with this station, we have an interactive multimedia information portal where you can access critical information, phone numbers, and services.
The process of addiction, starts out because the drug is so rewarding in the beginning, and then it becomes like a prison sentence. You're imprisoned in your own mind. You're trapped in these compulsive behaviors that you're doing because your brain just is constantly craving the drug.
The sad part is that even with all that's going on and even with all the awareness, the numbers are up.
Responding to overdose and overdose deaths and dealing with drugs in the community, it has taken a toll. I think more or less you got to think about it like they're a family member of yours, or they're a friend of yours. What would you be thinking if somebody's in that situation, right?
It's hard every time, and it's the young lives of young people.
It was really hard because I knew they were using. I would take 911 calls all the time, and so whenever I saw overdose or crash or, I was always looking in there to see, like, oh my God, is it our car? Did they kill anybody? Is it them who's died this time?
For many families, the grief and the loss starts long before someone actually passes. It's the worry, it's the fear, it's the anxiety when you know you have children that are struggling. It's waiting for the knock on the door. It's waiting for the phone call.